So we're here with another tier list and another CTR tier list because the last one did very, very well last time. So instead of legendary skins, which I will do since sadly all the Grand Prix are now over. Well, over. The other one, the last one's taking place as I'm recording. So then we're going to start from the bottom. Dragon Mines and Deep Sea Driving have their own tier because they're that fucking dreadful. Dragon Mines, just but that corkscrew section alone, that's not corkscrew section. That's from Lagoon Seaway. The spiral bit at the end is the reason why this gets it's at the very bottom. Just that spiral section. Oxide Ghost, I was just able to beat. Same with Velo Ghost, although I used the shortcut because I could do the U-turning, but I was just getting so fed up. I decided to do the shortcut where you go through the mine shaft and do it that way. Deep sea driving would be fine if it didn't have the fucking blades at the beginning and in the tunnel. But the thing that pisses me off about deep sea driving most is that people vote for it online, and I really, well, I mean, the blades do add a little bit to the playing field, but if you can maintain the blue flame, which pretty much every single turbo pad gives you blue flame, it doesn't equalize it. Yeah, so that's Dragon Mine's deep sea driving. Just they're fucking dreadful. Now we go into the meta. We've got I don't have I've got Xbox, not PS4, but Retro Stadium, Slide Coliseum, it's just boring. It's too flat. Inferno Island, Crash Cove ripoff, and it's not as fun as Crash Cove. Turbo Track, don't like Turbo Track with the two hair with no, hang on, 1, 2, 3 hairpins back to back. It's fucking dreadful. Only I beat. I took me a fair while to beat that Velo Ghost. Or Velo. Is it Velo or Velo? I don't know. Slide Coliseum. It's just flat. It's boring. It's just too boring. Meteor Gorge. I do like it. It's just a little bit too short. And a lot. I do vote for it online. But it's just a bit. Dingo Canyon. Yes, I just find that it's just really uninteresting and really boring. Middle of the road, Thunderstruck. It's got those I don't know, like flailing maces. I want to call them maces because it's basically what they are, but the spinny things, I'm going to call them maces. They're the really annoying bit. Other than that, track's fine. I much prefer it over deep sea driving because it's a little bit more technical. Crash Cove. It's Crash Cove. It's very wide. It's not a lot of technical stuff. It's basically just one big glorf. It's basically a big overall. No one. I used to do the pirate ship, but I don't jump over that anymore because it's just longer. Spyro Circuit. Oh my god, this track. It's too it's too tight and twisty for my liking. I like, and it just doesn't, for me, it doesn't flow very well. Like, I like a track that flows really well. You'll see what I mean when I get onto other tight twisty circuits. If it flows well and it's not clunky and like basically a 90-degree corner track like fucking Russian Grand Prix track is, it just doesn't flow very well for me. I'll probably do a separate tier list on the Grand Prix because I want my say on the Spyro Grand Prix. I've got really mixed feelings on that. And Coco Park, just a better version of Crash Cove. It's a racetrack. It's got elevation. It's got a nice shortcut, which is pretty nice. Next, we're gonna go some good Blizzard Bluff. I like it. The shortcut's really hard to pull off. Sometimes, especially that fence jump. That fence jump's hell. You need to do a fence. I think if you want to do the Velo Ghost time trials to get that decal, which I have, I'd say do the French jump once and don't bother doing it again because he doesn't take it at all. But Blizzard Bluff, that boulder can be annoying because you don't know. You can get the pattern down right, but you do, sometimes you just don't know when it's gonna drop. Polar Pass. I would have put this in the middle of the road probably a couple weeks ago, but I recently just know how to maintain blue fire. That shortcut where you have to jump over water, it's fucking ridiculous sometimes. Like you think you've got enough speed, and then it just cuts you off right at the end. Especially when you have blue fire, because sometimes the first jump can launch you, and I jump, and I don't think it's going to launch me. I jump, and I fall in the water and just lose all my speed. But yeah, I do like Polar Pass, especially like the first little bit. That is an example of when a track flows really well. Next up, um, Tiger Temple. Yeah, it's Tiger Temple, not Tiny Temple, because Tiny Temple is one with a statue. Very nice. It's a very nice, easy track. Especially that shortcut where you have to throw an object online, not time trial, because time trial is already open. It's nice. Yeah, it's just a nice small little track. I do like it. I've got nothing really else to say. I do like it. It's just some tracks I find are better. Um, what is that one? Jungle Boogie. I'm pretty sure that's the shortest track in the game. I could be wrong. Um, but yeah, just again, it flows nicely. That shortcut at the beginning, if you do it perfectly, that is a nice tight racing line you can take, and it just shaves off a couple, maybe I don't know, half a second maybe. I'm not like pro at this game. I'd say I'm an advanced player. Then we've got Clockwork Wampa, 90 degree. If you like 90-degree corners, then you like this track. I do like it, but those cogs at the beginning, even like if you don't touch them, they still have a chance to flatten you. Like if you just like have your tire just like so close to the cog, it'll probably set off and you get flattened. So that's for the good tracks. Now we get to great tracks. Mega Mixomania. I do like this track, especially the shortcut because you have to have blue fire to use that. So it encourages you to use blue fire. I think the last section. Sorry, I'm stretching there. Last section. That's like a very interesting section. You can either go like you can either go left and take the turbo pad. You can go through the middle and try and avoid everything, or you can go to the right and take another turbo pad to get more boost. Um, yeah, but I do like it because it starts off like open, and then when you go through like I want to say it's a ship, go through a ship, it gets all tight and twisty, and then it kind of opens back up again when you're left with a multiple choice. I do like that. Hot S Skyway. Oh, I really do like this track, but the Velo Ghost. Oh my god! If I didn't have to do the Velo Ghost, I would have probably put it in Golden Wampa tier. But that Velo Ghost was so fucking annoying. And not a lot of people vote for it online, probably because it hasn't got a lot of barriers, and you just fall off into the bottomless pit. It's really hard to maintain blue flame, especially in the last bit where you have to go that hairpin. You can either cut it or go straight around, but it's so hard because if you do try and cut it, you have a risk of going off and just losing all your speed. But I do like it. I like the challenge. I really do like Higher Skyway. I think it's a very underrated track. Drive Through Danger, the newest map. I do like this track. However, I think that's just something lacking in it. It's basically Hottest Skyway had a baby with Oxide Station. Basically, it's basically Oxide Station plus Hottest Skyway, which are both tracks I do like, and I'll show you where. And we're coming up to Oxide Station very soon. But yeah, it's just I think there's something about it. I don't know what it is. I think it's just lacking that one thing. I think it would have been a lot nicer because most of these DLC tracks, one was Spiral Sega, Blue Flame. I think this track might have worked a little bit better with no Blue Flame and make those jumps just a little bit shorter. Especially that gap in the fence that you can go over. Um, oh yeah, but yeah, some just some fence jumps in this game are just fucking ridiculous. Um, but it's the new track. I do like it. I don't it doesn't get. I think it's gonna be an underrated track in a couple of months because I don't think people are gonna want to, especially newer players. They don't. I don't think they like the new like track. Especially don't. I say not like them. It's just they're very annoying because especially Drive Through Danger. It doesn't have um a lot of like barriers to stop you falling off the circuit, but it does encourage you, and it does encourage you how to U-turn, which I'm getting a little bit better at. Out of time, I would have put this up in everyone votes for, but after that Velo Ghost, no, I do like Out of Time. I strange enough, I do prefer the Crash Nitro Kart version because you actually go around the clock. I know you go in the clock, but you actually go on the clock itself in CNK, and that sounds a little bit weird. But if they could have added that, I might have given it a chance. I do still like Out of Time, um, but yeah, no, I've got not much to say on that. I like the track. It's very hard to maintain Blue Flame. That fence jump can be a little bit annoying. Um, Yeah, next is going to be because yeah, Gingerbread Joyride. I really like Joyride. However, couple things holding it back. First off, those jelly cubes are on the last corner are fucking annoying. Um, because if you catch them, if you go past them at the wrong time, like if you've got a fixed racing line, and you've already like if you started drifting, for example, and they jump up in the air and they land when you're going where you're going, you're pretty much fucked. Second one is the fence jump can be very very annoying, especially if you just graze the ramp up above it. If you just graze that and you lose all your flame, you're face planting the fence. And there's another shortcut. Like if you don't pull that off, you get whatever character you're playing, whatever mask, they'll come and lift you out. Even though I think, well, there's two barriers over it, but I think if you just clear it, I think you should be in the clear. Maybe just like you lose your flame or something. But yeah, I'm not a game designer. Assembly Lane. I think this track gets overshadowed by Android Alley, because they're very similar tracks. But I think Android Alley is just much preferred because it just looks nicer and it flows a little bit better. But I do like Assembly Lane. For those pistons, I want to call on the conveyor belt or whatever stamping down. Yeah, what more can you say? They can be annoying. If you want to, especially if you want to stay on and get that little bit extra speed. There's a shortcut which is very easy to pull off, but some people do make it difficult for themselves. When you're going over that jump, you just want to take the furthest box away possible on the left and just go slightly further than that, and you easily pull it off. Just don't bother going for the box. Twilight Tour, the first DLC track, I like it. It's a little bit boring, but I really do like Twilight Tour. I think it was a good first DLC track for us to get excited about. And also it also goes from night to day when you go through the pyramid, which I think is very nice. Basically the opposite of Abu Dhabi in Formula One, which I like a lot. Blue Fire. I think that shortcut as well. If shortcut in Twilight Tour is pretty fucking pointless. Because it doesn't really save you a lot. Because by that time, if you're a good player, you already have Blue Fire, and there's basically no advantage. It's just a tighter line, and it doesn't even save you that much. I think the shortcut's fucking stupid. Here, what's next? Final one in the Great Tier is Cortex Castle. Do like it. It's very tight, very twisty, technical, challenging. It's very hard to maintain your blue flame, which I do like a lot. As you can see, I like tracks with a challenge. But it's just got a lot of 90-degree corners. Very hard to maintain your blue flame. But with spiders they can be a little bit of a pain. But usually I end up, especially for ones at the ends, because the last jump's a blue fire pad, and I don't exactly like losing my blue flame at that. So yeah, if you might want to practice U-turning for this track. Other than that, I love Cortex Castle. Everyone votes for. This is I just want to dedicate this to if these tracks pop up in the three track picks. Basically, everyone's going to vote for these. We have Barren Ruins. Oh yeah, it's a very good track. Especially that half pipe bit with the boulder. That's gonna be, but if you know, you don't have to take going the half pipe. You can just go on the top, which I usually do if I'm in the middle of I don't know, if like if I got bombed or just hit at in the first little area with the ice, I will go on the top because by far the boulder's probably been activated at that point. The robots can be a bit annoying if you're trying to take a tight racing line. But other than that, I think it's just one of those tracks where it's just simple and it's a medium length track. Tiny arena. I don't see a lot of people voting for this like they used to. But I still stuck it in here because if the other tracks are like they're decent, but I think everyone would pick Tiny Arena because it is also one of the longest tracks in the game, so it does give you that big Wumpa coin um stack that you can get. It's also it's got a lot of jumps which I like. Quite a lot of tight turns. It's quite hard to maintain. This one's not blue fire. You can actually talk about normal fire. It's very hard to keep your fire up on this track because like if you graze like a wall or you slow down or you stop drifting, then that's it. You're done. But it's one of the easiest like time trial tracks as well because Velo's Ghost loses fire like a load. So if you just keep blue fire, then you're fine with that. Papu's Pyramid. Everyone votes for this track. The spiral bit at the beginning. If you pull that off and then you get and you pull the turbo and you get on the turbo pad and you manage to keep that, you are basically set for basically set for the game or that race because not a lot that spiral bit is very it's basically a 90 degree. It's basically a whole 180 in 360 in 90-degree corners basically. Um, but yeah, it's a nice track. Scenery's lovely. First time I'm talking about background on this because most of backgrounds don't really interest me, but Papu's Pyramid really does. Um, ooh, Roost Tubes, just it's very simple. If the um tighter the racing line is, the better. This is a very good track to practice. Just riding up so close to the walls. Is what I use to practice so that I can get the tightest line possible, so that no one can overtake me. Because the faster line is basically you got to go with I don't want to say kiss the apex, but just want to ride against a wall so as close as you can is what you want to do on Roost Tubes because it's such a simple track. Pull off the shortcut as well, because that shaves off so much time, and that's basically it. Koala Carnival is very very fun. It's got a load of invisible walls though, especially at the beginning when you're doing those jumps, which is why I never go for them online because I'm always scared of like I'm gonna lose my blue flame. It's really easy to maintain blue flame on this track as well. It's similar with Roost Tubes. It's very short and you just need to maintain the best line possible. Mystery Caves. I'm very surprised people vote for this now. because it didn't get a lot of love at the beginning of the games at the beginning of the game. Um, but yeah, it's interesting. It's got those jumps with the fireballs. And it's got those turtles. I used to call them fish in the original game because that's what they look like, but no, they're actually turtles. Um, yeah, not a lot to say on Mystery Caves. Now I've not got to start talking about these tracks for 5 minutes. I will save Android Alley and Electron Avenue for last. So we're going to start with Tiny Temple. Best track if you want to practice using Blue Flame, because that's what you need to beat those Balo and Oxide ghosts. Because they maintain Blue Fire for the whole lap. If you're struggling to maintain your Blue Fire, load up Tiny Temple and just keep on going and going and going, because it's 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 really using time trials to maintain your Blue Flame. It's hard multiplayer because people keep on hitting the crate that switches the fire totems from the right side to the left side. People keep on hitting that. It's just natural instinct for me to go to the right because it's just what I'm used to. Nina's Nightmare. I didn't initially. If I was doing this, I don't know when this trial was released. It'd probably be in great tier, mainly because of the mansion section in at the end, because it's so hard to maintain your Blue Flame, but I can actually maintain Blue Flame through that now. So this track, it's really simple. The pumpkin spider head thing as well, that's like one of the best obstacles I've seen in this game. Not a lot much to say. Sewer Speedway, I love this track. A lot of people hate it. I won't say people a lot hate it, but most people, a couple of YouTubers I watch, I don't like this track mainly because of a shortcut. But I find ever since they patched the shortcut, it's really really easy to do if you have the speed. The barrels, I don't really care about the barrels. I just love Sewer Speedway. It's so fun. That shortcut when you pull it off is so satisfying. The barrels, if you just go wide enough and you can see where barrels are going to be, you can easily plan your route. It does cost you a little bit of time, but it you can easily make it up if you take a normal if you just take a tighter line beforehand. Engine Labs, I love Engine Labs. Um, it's 90-degree corners done right because it just flows. It flows really well. Um, Same with well, apart from Nina's Nightmare, so the other tracks in Golden Wampa, they just flow very well. Um, Engine Labs, it's got that warp tunnel. Just keep you Blue Fire. That barrel section, that's really easy. You just need to either go left or right on the side of it. It's not rocket science. That's really easy. The only thing I would wish for Engine Labs is if Beanox removed all the time trials when it was glitched, where you could go hit that pipe and you can just skip basically the whole lap. If they didn't, if those time trials were just removed and normal ones, I would go for the time trials, but because that dominates most of the leaderboard for Engine Labs, it's just no. I just don't see the point of it. Oxide Station, this track just I love Oxide Station. That last section, if you can, it's tight and twisty, but it flows. If you can maintain your Blue Flame through that, you've basically won your online match, because not a lot of people I've seen when I'm racing online can do that. I do struggle sometimes, especially with there's like near halfway through it, it gets really tight with it coming in, and you can just graze the wall and boom, it's gone. Um, Prehistoric Playground, I would argue that is the best DLC track they've done. I think probably probably the one that comes close is probably Nina's Nightmare, for me. But I think it's the best DLC track I've ever done. It's long. It's got Blue Flame. It's really it can it's when you get the layout of a track done, it's really easy to maintain your Blue Fire. Um, I I just love it. Especially now I won't say they've patched it, but if you can get through the first bit and maintain the blue fire after the first crate line chaos, and you maintain your blue fire there, I'd say you've pretty much won that online race unless you hit anything. Next up, Hyperspace Way. I love Hyperspace Way. The jump it can be quite hard to maintain your blue fire, especially after you pass the lasers or like the fire beam. I'm just gonna call them lasers and jump into the next part with the like you can go left or right, and that's really hard to maintain your blue fire. And going through the tunnel with the spinning lasers, that can be quite hard. But you just need to learn where they're gonna go. Oh, excuse me. Oh dear. Excuse me there. And yeah, you just need to maintain the blue fire through that little tight twisty section, and then yeah, that's it. Now these are my two favorite tracks in the game: Android Alley and Electron Avenue. Electron Avenue is it's technical, but it's technical, but it's wide enough. Which is one of the things that's lacking in, I don't know. Oh, what one did I say? I don't know. It's basically it's just wide enough where um you can just maintain your blue fire. If you make like a mistake and go wide, you can correct it. You won't lose too much time, but it's just simple to maintain your blue fire, especially for and those lasers. If you do the jump and just U-turn enough, you will go over the ramp and miss it if it goes off. So it's really easy to do. Couple of hairpins. It's just that first jump when you go over jump, and yeah, that's just fun. It's just a really fun track, especially online. If you're one of those, it's just so much fun. Uh, I'd say Electron Avenue is my favorite track in the game, but Android Alley, depending on who's in my lobby, depends on who's in my lobby on Electron Avenue. But yeah, I'll probably say that for another video. Um, Android Alley doesn't have blue flame. I say it's the best track that doesn't have blue flame. It's flows. Same with Electron Avenue. Electron Avenue just flows very well. Android Alley, I'd say probably the best flowing track in the game, for me personally. The train, it's not that hard to avoid. Um, it's got to just stay out of its way. Other than that, there's not a lot of obstacles. Apart from those like robots. After you jump through after the shortcut there, if they're halfway going through a cycle, um, just make sure you're on the opposite to where they are, because then you'll be fine. You'll be in the clear. I just love both these two tracks so much. That if they're in the lobby, I will vote for them regardless. Whatever is on there. Everyone votes for Electron Avenue. I don't see Android Alley getting too much love. It depends what other tracks are in. It really just depends. But anyway, guys, that is me doing my tier list for all the CTR Nitro Fueled tracks, and this is me off, and I'm out.